Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys what was in today's Fortnite update. Since we no longer get patch notes to tell us what happened, I'm going to try my best to make these videos and let you guys know what was changed every time we get a patch in Fortnite. The main thing that was added in this update was the helicopter vehicle, and I know some of you are probably like super tilted about that. Myself personally, I am super biased against vehicles. I typically despise them, like the planes and the mech. I was really tilted about. But the helicopter is actually really balanced, and you can pretty much only use it for mobility, and you have to use it intelligently, otherwise you're just going to grief yourself. It has 1500 HP, but when it is destroyed, players don't get redeploy, or when they jump out, they don't get redeploy. So if you're too high up and you don't land in water, you just die to fall damage. So I feel like perfectly balances it. That, in addition to the fact that it doesn't have guns of its own, players can sit on the outside and shoot, but those players are very exposed, and it doesn't travel so fast that it's hard to do damage to people. I'd imagine if you're standing on the outside of the helicopter like that, you would just get beamed super easily. As you see in the clips here, like, it's really easy to fight the helicopter. People often jump out and kill themselves with fall damage. Having no redeploy also makes it harder for people to just third party your fight with the helicopter, because they have to actually like land and then go and third party you, unless you're really high up and they can jump off and land onto it. They just risk dying to fall damage or taking fall damage in ways that the plane didn't really have to worry about. Like, the plane could just ram through your builds, and then the player themselves could jump out while you were like trying to reposition, and then they could redeploy to whatever height was and then get an easy kill on you. And helicopters aren't like that. It also does a lot of damage to the helicopter itself if they do hit builds or structures, which makes it just not viable for that playstyle that was so common with the planes. So I'm a vehicle hater, but the helicopters, I think, are perfectly balanced, and that's a good thing. It's like a step in the right direction. Typically, when new things come to Fortnite, they're incredibly overpowered, and it takes quite a long time for Epic to fix them. But in the case of the helicopters, I think they nailed it upon launch. It also is not in competitive modes, which is good, and I feel like that's how it should be. The Grappler was nerfed with this update, and so it shoots a bit slower than it did in the past. There's a delay, so that's good. C4 was slightly nerfed. The time before C4 detonations was slightly increased. So if you throw two C4s, that window between the first one blowing up and the second one blowing up is a little bit larger, which allows player to like better combat C4 with their building. It was only changed from 0.3 seconds to 0.5, so not huge, but it's definitely noticeable in-game, and I found C4 to be less effective when I was using it myself. And I think that's a good thing, because C4 was incredibly annoying and incredibly easy to use. Like, the skill it took to use C4 and the effect that someone would get from using C4, I feel like we're just completely out of whack. So I think C4 getting a nerf is a good thing. I would have liked to see it removed from competitive modes at the very least, but that's not the case. It's still in the game. The following items received an update but aren't actually in game. So Hypex tweeted about these items getting changed, so we might see them return to the game in some time in the near future. And those items are the clinger grenades, so the sticky plunger grenades, the chug splashes, and the shield bubble. I personally like the chug splashes a lot and wouldn't mind them coming back. Just more shield in the game is typically better. The clingers, I don't see any need for those to come back, especially since we have C4 and frags already. Like, we have explosives. I don't personally think we need any more. And then the shield bubble coming back is somewhat useful. I didn't really use it much ever, but I also don't mind it. I think people could also put it on the helicopter and then fly around and be protected, like people could with the mech in the past, but we'll have to see if that's the case. They could also do it with the drift board. So I'd imagine that you would be able to use the shield bubble to fly around and be protected when you're in a helicopter. There's also some map changes. Pleasant Park, that underground area, is now opened up from, like, you can just jump down from the football area down into it, which is nice. And it's mainly like that so the helicopter can get out, but it completely changes the dynamic of that underground area. It's a little easier to loot now because you can just walk to it. And then it also makes it not as effective for people just hiding down there and being annoying, which is really, really cool. And then finally, the rig was exploded and there was an oil spill. The location still exists and the henchmen are still there, but from what I've been told, TNTina and the Boombo are no longer in the game because of this, which is actually pretty crazy. They removed the Boombo, which I'm sure a lot of you are happy about because it was an annoying item. They changed that location, and it's just kind of interesting going forward because there's that whole faction war going on between Shadow and Ghost, and maybe that's the reason why they destroyed the oil rig in the storyline. And this may happen to future agency locations, slowly removing the mythic items from the game. So if you enjoy mythic items, their time might be limited. Maybe the Boombo and TNTina will come back in the near future. It might have just been a bug that they were no longer in the game. But yeah, for now, oil rig was changed, Pleasant was changed, helicopters in the game, C4 nerfed, Grappler nerfed, and then potential for a few other items to come back. So let me know what you think of this update down in the comments below. If you haven't played it yet, don't pass too much judgment on the helicopter. I think it's very balanced, and I'm like someone who's very anti-vehicle. So if it was OP and annoying, like I would be telling you it's OP and annoying, but I just don't think the helicopter will ruin the game that much, and I think Epic did a good job with this update. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff, and I'll see you guys another time. Thanks for watching.
It was so weird. We killed those guys like at the same time.
The guy trying to build above us, I think he has it.
Okay, yeah, we can just chill. Did you get a launch pad from that guy you killed?
No.
Dang.
Another kid building above us. This kid's like underneath. Oh, my bad,
Ooh.
my bad. I didn't know you were on that. You can come up.
Jeez.
I thought you were in your metal box. Probably not Gamer Legend. They would have done it, I feel like, last season because a lot of people complained about it. What's up, Kurto?
Oh my god.
You need brick?
No. They landed above us.
Here's brick.
Are you tunneling or?
I was waiting. I was just gonna get ahead and then let you do it. One behind you.
Probably minis right here.
It might be dead to storm. And it went back. I'm getting minigun spam.
Here, you can drop down, drop down. Dang, I'm too bad. I hate when I have someone knocked and I'm like waiting for the grace period. I'm just like awkwardly standing there.
Yeah, same.